So here's the vacuum pump and what all happened to it. It exploded out the back here and caused some pretty astronomical damage. That little pin, that's kind of the orange spot there, is actually the piece that pushes on the diaphragm. And as you can see, I rotate this piece that's flopping around on the outside, that actually is what is supposed to be riding on that shaft there. This piece that's just flaring around in there is actually what used to push against that. As you can see, it's come apart, and now it has the inside piece driving it. So what this was doing was it was giving it just enough vacuum to run the transmission, I guess, but nowhere near the vacuum to run the brake booster and all this and that. But as you can see here, I'm not exactly sure what all failed on it. I thought that there was a bearing back here, because I know there's a bearing in this section, but must have been some metal chunks or something inside that ended up getting in between stuff and causing it to clunk. As you can probably see, if it focuses, you can see some big gouging around that pin from before. So this thing was slowly eating itself. You can see how hot it was to melt the pin. Just astronomically, just a failure. Normally what covers it is this piece here. Get up in the light. It's completely blacked. Basically all this is just like a freeze plug on an engine, and it presses in and it looks like that, but it actually has been blown off to expose the innards. And this was all full of fluid. Now it's bone dry. It got that hot. The engine by itself runs 195 to 200 degrees. So this would start at that and then slowly fail, and would reach probably in excess of 1,000 some degrees to start melting the metal like that. Just really, really hot. So, but yeah, that's the pump completely shot now. As we rotate this piece here, you can see what it kind of does. See, that piece is just all screwed up inside. So, but yeah, there's the big diaphragm and all that, and complete failure. So I have to get a complete new one. Take this bracket off, because this is the bracket that obviously bolts to the engine. And the other thing I'm going to have to try to do is find a pulley. Reason being, as you can see, what someone in the past has done is they have welded the pulley onto the shaft. This webcam is pretty cool once it finally makes up its mind. But it's also crooked. It also wobbles pretty bad when it's spinning and all this and that. It always has. So this is an old part. It's the original Ford one. So I can't get mad at it for failing. It's been spinning at high RPMs for 150,000 miles, and they're always in long spurts. So it's always getting hot, always getting its butt whooped every time. So very important piece on a Ford 7.3 6.9 IDI diesel. I'm thinking the 7.3 Power Strokes and stuff do a same vacuum kind of thing, but they do it through the power steering pump. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's what's failed. So, Walking Freak, you were right. It was not a bearing. It ended up being something else. The diaphragm wasn't actually the cause, but you know already. And for anybody that wants to unsubscribe because I'm not doing bass videos, go right ahead. Makes me happy not having you around.